What's going on, Cowboys Nation, and everybody else that are Cowboy Nation haters? Welcome to another episode of Cowboys Cutting Up. I am one of the hosts here, Jay Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Oh, let's go. And of course, I'm joined by the man with the voice for those antlers down there, and apparently a Yankees lover. And I don't want to go into this story again, but that's what it is. That's why he has pinstripes on. So he's not in jail. He should be for it, but he's not.
Hey,
Of
I
course,
have
Trey
Cowboys
Collis.
on underneath. I have Cowboys on underneath.
Trey, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Homecoming week this week. I'm going to be in a parade
Hey.
tomorrow. Apparently, I don't know, like riding a bicycle or something, throwing candy at
Riding
little
a
kids.
bicycle. Right off the bat, Joe. Right off the bat. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Whatever. With the Fly Eagles fly. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about that, of course, the moral victory that the Cowboys had this week. We're going to talk about what's going on with Dak. Apparently, there's still some indecision a little bit from Steven. Jerry's more decisive about whether Dak is going to play in this Detroit game. And speaking of the Detroit game, we have a guest on from the area. He is a Lions diehard. Alex Loosemer. I'm sure I'm saying it incorrectly, but that's all right. He's a Michigan guy and all of that stuff. So, yeah, we're definitely going to see that. Big game, of course, is in the house. One of the biggest Cowboys haters. Don't play Dak. We'll see. You know, whatever, guy. But let's get right into it, man. We saw what we saw. I think, okay, so last week we both predicted Cowboys with our hearts, but I think we knew in our minds this was just and that's what it was. It was a heart pick. Okay, 22-18. If you flipped it, I was pretty close, just on the other side. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's right here. Okay, so in DFW on the radio, they've been talking about they don't feel bad. You know, talk radio has been talking about they don't feel bad about this loss. Backup quarterback, you had a guard that's starting. Peters was it Peterson, right? That was just starting and hadn't really played, and he's 40 years old. So all in all, 17 points in the second half, didn't lose their crap. You know, they kind of kept their heads about themselves. Not too bad. But what say you, Trey? More victory, not a bad loss.
Well,
where do you put this?
It's not a bad loss, right? Because someone said this on ESPN too, on one of the ESPN networks. The Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs would have gone that atmosphere and lost that game the last night. I mean, they were hyped up for it. That was like a primetime game. The crowd was into it. It had it had a bearing on the NFC East, but I mean, my pick, I honestly was going to pick the Eagles, but those guys made me kind of pick last week. I just had to pick the Cowboys. And I was hoping
the guys made you pick the Eagles. Pick the Cowboys. Okay, I hear you.
But I think me and you both picked the Eagles to win the division anyway, right?
Yeah, we did.
So I mean, I did it because look at their schedule. The only tough games that the Eagles have that I thought at the time were the Packers and us, right? Packers don't look like any Packers.
Yeah.
So
well,
again, well, go ahead.
They have douche Dodgers at the helm. So whenever you have douche Dodgers, you expect to get what you get.
Yeah, but
expect to get what you get.
He has no weapons. He has no weapons.
He scared him off, and that's what he is. But I felt bad about the loss, honestly. I did say last week that Jalen Hurts is a weapon to be reckoned with.
And
people told me
he wasn't.
Oh, dude, he's making first downs with his legs. And that was the thing that scared me. And then, what's up, Matty? What's up, Dieter? Good to see you, man. Our Philly guy from last week. We're gonna have you on again, man. We're definitely gonna have you on again. He hurt us though, because what did he do with Micah Parsons? He neutralized him.
Well, and that's the thing.
I blame it more on the fact that he was not Okay, Dan Quinn, but I don't think he ever really saw that before. He had to make decisions that he didn't have to have made before. I didn't say that rightly, but yeah, he's a weapon. He's a weapon. We knew this was going to happen. He's a weapon. Okay. We say y'all lucky the OT got hurt.
That's what I'm saying. No.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Everyone's talking about how he handled Michael Parsons. If you go back and watch the tape, Michael Parsons was getting, like, Jalen Hurts was getting the ball out quick, right? Like, you look at all the defense, Michael Parsons was still in the backfield, and he was Michael Parsons. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
Until he had the RPO. Whenever it was RPO.
Well, when you're the only one over there, yeah. What are you going to do?
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
It's not Michael Parsons' fault. Like, what are you going to do?
I'm not blaming him. All I'm saying is he was in a situation where he had to choose. And if you stop, you're done. Okay. It's like a shark. Okay. If you stop swimming, you die. So to me, that was that whole piece.
Not necessarily. You can hit the shark in the nose.
No. Oh my gosh.
They don't like getting hit in the nose.
Let me tell you something. Trey Collis, if you hit a shark in the nose, you come talk to me, brother, because you are a bad man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
you're a bad man.
I went diving in Destin, Florida, dude. I lasted 5 minutes. I could not. I was like, I went back on the boat. There's something weird about breathing underwater, right? I'm like, no, I'm just sitting there on the lifeboat while everyone else is from like, no.
Look, I'm telling you, man, but he definitely was a weapon. Now, like we said in before we came on, the second quarter. And I kept saying, if we can survive the second quarter, because they played in a short field the first quarter and really the first half. And one of the other things they did was time and clock management. They were awesome at that in that first half. They were awesome. They kept the ball away by using Scott and using Jalen Hurts, right? By running here and there, playing runs, and just ensuring that, hey, that's what they needed to do. So, hats off to them for that. We kind of knew this was going to be what it was, so that's what it is. But moral victory for Dallas, I guess. I don't believe in moral victories, but
I don't either.
Sure,
a loss is a loss. Okay, a loss is a loss. And please excuse my dog. She never plays with this damn toy until it's time for Cowboys cutting up. So whatever. So excuse me why
she has a voice.
I don't believe in moral victories either. But as soon as the game was over, I texted all my cousins and everyone who's Cowboy fans, and I said, "Hey, if I were to feel good about a loss, it was this one. We turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah.
The Eagles didn't turn the ball over none. We cut it down to 3 with a backup quarterback. We ran the ball really. If Cooper Rush if he hits CeeDee Lamb instead of throwing that wobbly duck that got the interception at the third interception,
right?
Where CeeDee Lamb was wide open, who would have known CeeDee Lamb would have caught it anyway because he's known for.
There is a such thing as moral victory, big game.
But if he would have caught that, we're right in the game in the fourth quarter, and who knows, right? Like our defense was into it. But then again, like we get in within 3, and then the Eagles run it down our throat. We cannot stop the run to save our lives.
Yeah,
and I do blame I think the game switched on this aspect too early in the first quarter or late in the first quarter, where CeeDee Lamb got the first down, clearly got the first down, and we went fast tempo, and they called it fourth down.
Appreciate you.
They called it fourth down, and I think that's – and if we would have got a first, I think it would set our offense down a little bit, and I think we could have probably scored another thing. I think it would have been a lot closer game. But, hey, we have Dak – let's see. Now, let's put up our shut-up time now, right? Dak Prescott's coming back in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We'll get into that a little bit later. But all these Cowboy haters who are saying, oh, keep rushing. Those are the ones that are scared because Dak coming back, and they know what Cooper Rush like. Our offense doesn't expand with Cooper Rush as it will with Dak Prescott. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
All right. Well, I mean, we got another game. Hopefully, he is actually, good to go at that point. If not, then we'll see. We will definitely see. But now let's go ahead. Let's welcome in our guest as we preview the Dallas Cowboys versus the Lions playing here. 12 o'clock. Should be a great show. Great game. Mr. Alex Loosemore. Am I saying that right?
Yep, you said it right there. It's exactly how it looks.
The game. Take that, punk. That's right. Look, Alex is the host on the NFL Edition show on Bucs Report, as well as Let's Talk College Football on Let's Talk College Football. Welcome. We're broke. We can't get, the sound effects, so I got to make them all. But there you go. Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's talk. Before we get into Cowboys, let's talk Lions. So you get Jared Goff, you get rid of Stat Pafford, right? And it looks like the Lions is just going to be the Lions. But as we kind of talked about, this season has been no other season, a season like no other.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely insane because I mean, for a while there they had the number one offense in football, and even after that slouch of a game against New England. And having the bye week where other teams were playing, we're still top 5 in almost every category. But the defense is still arguably the worst in the history of the NFL. Like it is awful. Like absolutely terrible.
Yeah. And big game, this game is not going to suck because the Cowboys are in it. So take that. Why don't you tell your boy Tom Brady to stop beating up on people and stuff? How about that? Trash.
I mean, I kind of get where he's getting. Like this slate of NFL games sucks this week. It does.
And it is a rough week.
It's a rough week.
This is
a rough week.
Well, especially when like last week you had Bills, Chiefs, you had Cowboys, Eagles, you had like there were a bunch of really good games. I
mean, look, every week is not going to be good, right? Like sometimes you have to watch an NFC South game, which no one wants to watch any of those.
Or Denver Broncos.
Because they're all horrible.
Or the Broncos in prime time,
Yeah, AFC West. I thought AFC West was going to be really a lot better than what they were. And we're just AFC. That's it's all going to go through the AFC West. No, it's not. It's Kansas City and Buffalo, and that's pretty much all you got in the AFC. And that's all it is. And I don't know what you told me, big game. But whatever. And yes, you are a hater. I'm glad you finally admitted that with the big words there, big letters. But no, I've been surprised with the offense as well. Megatron's gone. There's no one there. We said, hey, who is Jared Goff going to pass to, and who's he going to hand the ball off to? And they've figured it out. So, like I said, what's the speak around Detroit right now?
So offensively, when everyone's healthy, it's almost like they feel like they're unstoppable because you look at some of those defenses we played, like Philly's showing up very well defensively. I mean, Washington's been hit or miss. Minnesota's been hit or miss. But at times they played very well, and we imposed our will offensively in those games. DeAndre Swift, before he got hurt, looked like a top 5, top 10 running back in the NFL. It looks like he may play this weekend. He's kind of a day by day, if I can play, I'll play situation with his ankle and his shoulder. But Jamal Williams was doing just fine by himself there. Josh Reynolds, the third string, was picking it up well. To me, the reason the offense is working so well is that offensive line. We've got last year, it was billed to be one of the best offensive lines in football. And then you lost the center, Frank Ragnow, week 3. Taylor Decker didn't play till week 9, your left tackle. You had a rookie right tackle. Vaitai was moving from right tackle to right guard. So you had so many moving pieces where you couldn't get that chemistry building. This year, they've had the starters pretty much the entire year. And even when they had to put a backup in, that backup was playing solid because you had 3 or 4 starters around them. Right. So it's giving Goff the time to find these receivers, let them eventually get open, building these holes for Swift and Williams and all these running backs to run through. And it's really making Goff's life easier, especially. To me, the big difference is the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, this year. He's really opened up the offense. He sat down with Goff and they figured out what he likes, what he doesn't like. And they built the playbook around Goff.
Are you talking about an actual OC / or even an HC that's catering to the players and not the players trying to fit into a system.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So offensively, it feels like we're on top of the world.
Because you put what? How many did you put up on Philly?
35.
35, right?
We're averaging like just over 30 points a game, I believe.
And see,
now
I'm going to say
the terrible thing is we're giving up 34 a game. So,
well, but I think that's the part that, as a Cowboys fan, looking at this game, previewing this game, saying, okay, is this a team that if we have to get into a shootout, are we capable of doing that?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking. Well, yeah, I'm asking you, Trey. I'm asking you. Do you, hearing what you've heard, seeing what you've seen, do you think we have to get into a shootout with this team, even with the defense that we have? And I still believe we're a top 3 defense.
Oh, we're top 3 defense. We're top 3 defense.
Yeah.
It's not one of the best defense. I mean, yeah, we gave up over 20 points for the first time, but at the same time, our offense gave us bad field position in that last game. So really, a lot of that was on the offensive side as well. But it depends who's that quarterback, man. If Dak Prescott's that quarterback and he looks healthy and he's not rusty, yeah, we can put up in a shootout.
Yeah.
If Cooper Rush is, we got to do ball control. We got to run it, and hope for 24-21 victory. I mean,
okay. Here's a question. and here's a question. And I'm not saying to score less points, because there are some pundits out there, some very stupid people who have been saying we need to score less to win. Stupid. Yeah, I don't get that because we don't score enough now. But should Dak dial it back, or at least not be a game manager, but definitely be a type of quarterback that is as we say, take what the defense gives you. I think a lot of times he may force when he feels like I got to do something. I got to be Superman. Do you think that's what he should do? Not be a Cooper Rush, but not be Dak Prescott.
Well, I think, honestly, this injury is kind of a blessing in disguise, right? Because he saw, because last year we were kind of relying, we got the turnovers anyway, but we were still middle of the pack, not a great defense, right? Like we made improvements because we were one of the worst defense 2 years ago. But then we got back to the middle of the pack. And now he's seeing on the side, hey, I don't got to sling it around 45 times. If we do ball control and our defense is going to give us great field position, I don't have to do as much. Yeah, they're paying me $44 million a year, which is still outrageous, but whatever the case may be.
That's the market.
It is, but at the same time, you should have paid him earlier. But anyway, I think that if Dak does that, hey, and Steve Young pointed this out when he first got hurt, when Cooper Rush won his first game and the second game, he's like, hey, you learn from watching, hey, our defense is great. We don't have to, but now if you put my legs in, and you can expand the playbook a little bit more. I can do the read options. We can put more third down packages in. We can do that Cooper Rush cannot do. I think that was a blessing in disguise, Dak getting hurt and seeing it for his own eyes, and Cooper Rush for keeping us above water. It'd say, hey, I don't have to do it. We don't have to score like Tony Romo days, 35, 38 points a game because our defense is giving up touchdowns left and right. So I think that you're going to see that a lot. And I do believe Dak is playing from what I heard today.
Big game. This is why I say you're a hater. No, sir. Is Herm Edwards once quoted, you play to win the game. The only way you can win this game is score more points than the other person. Okay.
Yep.
So how do you do that? You continue to score. You don't kick, field goals the whole game, which we've done before. You don't punt.
I wish we kicked.
Well, there's that part for Detroit. Like for you guys, it's 4 downs. We playing every down.
It sure seems like it, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was the one game our kicker missed the week, and we got some nobody kicker off the streets who missed everything. Yeah. So then all of a sudden we got some other kicker that the week before for the Bears went 4 for 4, and it's we forget that we can kick field goals. It's what we went 0 for 6 on 4th down conversions against the Patriots.
Did y'all
should not be going for it 6 times.
Did y'all get blanker shift after you got cut from the Colts?
No. So we had Seibert from last year, and then Seibert got hurt, and I can't remember who we picked up, but he was on I think it was Michael Badgley.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So I think he's our kicker now. But
do you think that's going to help?
It depends if Dan Campbell decides to use him.
If he's not chopping off people's kneecaps.
Well, are people ready for Dan Campbell to go? Like, is there any speak or talk of, you know what, this has been fun. He's a fun guy to watch, you know, in interviews and things like that. But it's time. Are they starting to call for the seat to get a little bit warmer? Is it even is the seat even hot? Let's just say that.
So if you're on fan pages and fan groups and all that, the seat is blazing hot. Like, he should be out.
Okay.
They asked Sheila Ford-Hamp, the owner, today.
Yeah.
And she said, while she's frustrated with the direction things are going, that the current regime is still safe. There's no changes are going to happen as of now. We're still wait and see. I mean, we're 5 games into the season. We've had a laundry list of players go on IR, and like, if you look at it, our best pass rusher from last year has been on injured reserve most of the year, and the pass rusher from the year before, and like last week or 2 weeks ago in New England, we lost 5 DBs after already having 2 starters gone. Right. Like, so it's just
big game. Be nice. Big game. Be nice. Fake Jeremy Shockey. That's tough, man. He favors, but be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, down here it's kind of one of those things where Detroit and I mean, even kind of like North, like Carolina, like those types of teams, the Jets, like you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that is an NFL team up there.
Yeah.
But that kind of, and I don't want to say mired in mediocrity, but it seems like there's a mindset around the Lions where you have your core Lions fans, and then you have kind of everyone else. Like, well, we have a baseball team. Let's watch that, or let's watch hockey, or let's watch Michigan or someone else. Like, they do other things than watch NFL games. They watch the Lions. But I do think that even this year, it's been. I've liked it because I think Jared Goff got a raw deal. Yep, coming out of coming off the Rams. I just do. I think Stat Padford is Douche Dodgers Jr. The second. I just don't like the guy. Okay, that's
totally fair.
I'm sure. No, he's a douche. It's just, how do you let someone fall off a stage? You look, and you're like, oops, let me walk away.
Yeah, that was not a good look at all. There's no defending that.
I just can't, man. I just can't. What's up, Dieter? How do they feel about the running game with Deuce as the running coach?
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, they're running well.
Yeah.
They're running well. They're running well.
Swift was averaging somewhere between 5 and 10 yards a carry. Like,
yeah.
That alone, they're just like, just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for me, that's scary for Dallas, because for whatever people want to say, that run defense is still not that great. It's still not that great.
It is in spots, right? Like, but when we really it sucks. Like when we're down 3 and then the Eagles just running down our throat, and that like those plays. And then when Fournette just runs on the second half.
Exactly.
It's good in spots, but then it's not good when you actually need it. That's the only that is our one weakness. But and I got to go back to what the Detroit fans are watching. Hey man, Detroit Pistons basketball. That's going to be a good team this year.
It's going to be a lot of fun, yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm telling you. But, dude, I differ on Jared Goff. I don't see it. I just don't. There's a reason why the Rams got – and Matthew Stafford was not a big upgrade. They just got hot at the right time. You're seeing it this year. He's not that great of – he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback to me at all. I'm sorry.
See, to me, he's still, like, right on that bubble is where I see it. But,
I mean – They got hot at the right time. So for the Rams last year, I mean, they had to place a Buccaneer team who was already like, they lost their wide receiver. I mean, who threw a tantrum. They had to play Arizona the first week, who all know that they sucked at the end of the year. Cliff Kingsbury should be fired. Should never been a head coach.
We put up 35 on them, absolutely destroyed them. Like, that says something.
And then so there you go.
Yeah, it does, and again, I think that's the part that is scary to me, is that again, we talk about Dallas's defense, but the Eagles have a good defense as well.
Yeah.
They're not great, but they're good, right?
They're
and
fast.
so to be able to put 35 up on them, I'm not saying that they'll put 35 on Dallas, but they've kind of figured out some things, and they're looking at some players that, hey, you know what? You don't know about us. Let me show you. And especially, again, with that running offense, that run offense, that's scary to me. If they're able to get through there and utilize the run that keeps our offense off, our defense showed that they can get tired, right?
Yeah.
A little bit in that Eagles game. They showed that they can. Parsons is not 100%. He's still formidable, but he's not 100%. So I'm really and last week showed their frustration. When they got frustrated, they didn't do well. You know, they really had some issues and costly penalties that realistically that could have turned the tide of the game.
Oh, at the end of the first quarter when they got the touchdown, when everyone in the world knew they weren't going to snap that damn ball, that pissed me off. But anyway, this is Lions Week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's some things that hopefully they've pulled in. You know, Diggs taking his helmet off and slamming it on the field.
I don't have a problem with that. That shows that he cares, right? Like we didn't see that before. He cared, and he got frustrated because they weren't throwing the ball his way either. They weren't throwing the ball his way.
No, they weren't. Well, I mean, but that's the mark of a good DB.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, Dion had a whole half a field, and he told him, if you throw it my way, get your popcorn, right? Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, that's respect. I call that respect. Now,
absolutely.
You know, the thing that I'm curious to see again is just that run game, that defense on both sides, how the adjustments, because I think that's the other part too, is watching the Lions, how they adjust throughout the whole game. And I do believe offensively they've been able to do that.
Yes.
You know, and kind of figure out some things. Hey, this worked, this didn't work. And then from the first half to the second half, they've been able to really kind of transition to say, hey, you know what, we're going to make this work. So that part of it, yes. The defense, I'm surprised. I thought with this coach, it would be better.
You're not the only one.
It would be better, but it has not. It has not been. So that's why I asked that question. You know, where is he? And no, prime time is not human. This is a fact. We all know this. But where is he on that seat? You know, and do you think that will he last the season?
Yeah, I do think any change will happen at the end of the season. Just because if you look at the Lions' schedule, we've got a tough stretch here with you guys, the Dolphins, and the Packers are still a tough team. For us, they are. And then
I don't know.
You got the Giants and the Bills as well. So,
God damn, dude! Like y'all got like a schedule, dude.
And then after that, it's like I don't remember the exact order, but we get the Bears twice. We get the Jaguars, the Jets, the Panthers, Vikings one more time. No, absolutely not. And we play them in New York, so that's why. Like, I think that's a loss, definitely.
Yeah.
But there's still a realistic chance for improvement based on last year. There's still a chance for 6-7 wins. Do you think you have a chance? Okay, so let's talk NFC North. Okay.
Do you think you have a chance to do something in the NFC North? Even at this part of the season, do you think you have a chance maybe? Because Green Bay looks like crap. We can all attest to that. And that was really who's been running it for a while now. Now that they're not there, Minnesota, and for some reason people just believe Minnesota is just this team that's so good, but I don't see it. I honestly don't see it.
Well, Minnesota should have lost the Chicago Bears if it wasn't for that turnover at the end of the game. Minnesota, we saw what he is. The Kirk Cousins is on prime time.
They should have lost to us too.
Yeah, exactly. They're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to come back. Green Bay might come back up a little. For some reason, Green Bay always has an easy freaking schedule at the end of the year. I don't understand because I guess they play in the North, whatever. But Chicago, we can very much write them off. Justin Fields is only playing this last of his contract. He's not going to stay in Chicago anymore. Detroit, if they get on a little hot streak, but you just read off their schedule, that's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough with the Bills and the.
See, James, there you go again.
Oh my God!
It's not a cake schedule. It's not cake. I'm telling you, it's not.
It's easier the second now than it was at the beginning of the year.
Strawberry shortcake.
Like we had the Buccaneers, we had the Bengals, and then we have the Eagles. Where the Eagles, on the other hand, don't play anybody over 500, it seems like, except for the Minnesota Vikings, which we all know is not on prime time. And then the Detroit Lions, who were like one of the worst teams in the NFL last year, and they look at their schedule, it's probably like number 2 or number 3 toughest schedule in the league. So that's something about the schedule.
Right. And I mean, we know the Eagles have one of the easiest schedules because they're so easy. Yeah, it's because they're the Eagles, and of course they're going to cry about it. Cry Eagles cry. That's what they do.
Y'all still got to play the Giants too, right?
Yeah.
Giants are no cupcake.
No, they're really not.
And so and I know that's why Big Game had to recant what he said about the NFC South and NFC East. How the NFC South is better than the East, and it's not. The NFC East right now has like the best record overall as a division in the whole NFL.
500.
You have the Eagles that are 5-0. You have Dallas as 6-0. Sorry, 6-0. Dallas as 4-2. New York Giants are 5-1.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have is the commies, and no one likes the commies. So it's what they are.
Hey, the commies actually might be good now with Carson Wentz might being out.
Yeah, he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Heineke is back. So yeah, maybe they actually will get the mojo back. So there you go. 31 rank. You must be talking about the Eagles, because it ain't us. I can tell you that, buddy. It ain't us.
I know when they were going off of based on how the opponents were last year, you guys were right at the easiest, like your whole division, and our division was right there too. So but I mean, obviously that was with the Giants expected to be what everyone thought they were going to be. The Jets expected to be bottom of the barrel. Like it was a lot of teams expected to be worse than they are this year.
Yeah, exactly. Big Game, I don't even know how you can fix your mouth to say yes, it is, based upon the fact that we played the Super Bowl champs, the AFC champs, the NFC conference in the Bucs, right? They went to the NFC championship. I mean, how can you say that, bro? Like all of those and aside from the Bucs, whom I think we could have. No, we couldn't. We probably would have. If
it wasn't, this is why I hate teams not playing players not playing the preseason, because week one is basically a preseason game. You saw that with the Cowboys. You saw with everybody in the world.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And I feel like if we played the Buccaneers like later in the year, like right now, we would so. That's why I hate the first. Like everyone puts too much in stock. And when I came up here and said, "Hey, we still have 16 more games. It's still early. Like
season's early. Yeah,
first week's always overreaction. My team sucks. It's over. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And then all of a sudden your team's 4-1. You're like, oh, okay, we're Super Bowl contenders again. Like
Bengals are not overrated. Whatever. Say what you want but
they don't look that good this year though.
They look a lot better than they did. I'll give them that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sauce Gardner is so good.
Oh, he's the runaway defensive rookie of the year at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even remotely close.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And we kind of talked about the draft here on Big Game Sports Buzz. Just who won, and they definitely did. So we could talk about but it still comes back to, based on last year, you set up your schedule. And the reality is the schedule based on last year's teams and where they ended out. Hey, that's a tough schedule. That's a tough schedule. Now you come forward this year. Yeah. LA is not what they were. The Bengals, they had lots of injuries, especially on that offensive line. So they don't look anywhere near what they were, and their defense is not showing up anymore. Tampa Bay they can't score 20 points. So I don't even know why he's talking. And I said this, he misses Gronk. He needs Gronk. Yes, they have problems across that offensive line as far as injuries. But if you don't have that blanket, even if he's not catching the ball, it's the threat of Gronk. And in that part right there.
And the blocking as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then not to get a Buccaneer, because this is a Cowboy show, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about the Buccaneers.
Sure.
I think that personal life of Tom Brady's affected him too. I do.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he should have stayed retired, and I think it's affecting him in the Buccaneers season right now.
We should have stayed retired because he's old and he's getting hit and he doesn't like it. So, yeah, there you go. It's the O-line. Yeah, it's the O-line. We said it's the O-line, but it's also I know you said group, but I know you meant Gronk. Gronk was a threat. Again, it's not the fact that if he's going to catch it or not. It actually, that's what it is. Is he going to catch it or not? And you know that you have no one. You have no one that can cover him. There's no one that can cover. You can't put a safety on him because they're too light. You can't put a linebacker on him because they're too slow. You know what I'm saying? And so you're not going to have that's all you got. You're not going to put a corner on them because, again, they're too light. So,
all right, let's go back to this game. I'm tired of it. This ain't Buccaneers cutting up.
Is Bucs Report?
I'm done with it. I mean, when the Falcons are tied with you and you had to get our stupid roughing the passer call, and the Falcons should be first place right now in the South. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, there's that part. Yeah, and we can end on that note. So supposedly Dak is going to play. That's the rumors right now. No one's been very committal, but I'm pretty sure he is going to play. He's been squeezing everybody's hands when he shakes them, as hard as he can, give them the death grip. Yeah, and clapping like, look, yeah, right. What an idiot. Dak comes back. Does that prove to be a scary thought or a scary look now that if Dak is there and let's say he has learned some things from Cooper Rush, the backup, does that prove to be scarier now that Dak is even coming off the injury?
I think it's going to be a game or two. Like, I think it's going to be the Packer game until we can find out. No offense against the Detroit Lions. They're better than we thought. They're good foot. You can't sleep on them. No, I'm sorry. I'm not.
No, defensively, you can lay down and take a nap and you'll be fine.
And then the Bears, we all see what they suck. They have no defense. They have nothing. They have no offensive line. They have nothing. They have no weapons. And then we have I think it's going to be going in the Green Bay against that great defense that they have, apparently, even though the Jets put over whatever. I think that's when you're going to see it, because then Dak will get all the rust off. You have the bye. We have that extra week to get in sync back with Michael Gallup, who has not played with since he tore his ACL, because Michael Gallup came back after Dak got hurt. And then you're going to get James Washington back at some point. You're going to get, and then him and CeeDee Lamb probably have a better connection than what Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb, because they played on that first team. And then you got to get a connection with Noah Brown as well. So I think I think these are perfect time to bring Dak back. No, like I said, no offense to the Detroit Lions, but your defense is not all that great. So I think that these are two preseason games that Dak needed, and I think you're going to see the rust come off, and then you're going to have a bye week, and then we start our season rocking and rolling the second half of the season with that light schedule that we do have. So I think that's where you're going to start seeing. I don't think you're going to tell too much on the Detroit. Dak can go off and have 400 yards passing this game. It's still not going to tell me anything until we play a defense like the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, and all that. That's what my feeling is.
Okay, I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah. You have to put him in. You have to get him in, obviously, because he's your starter and he's $40 million sitting on the bench, and for all intents and purposes, like we said, I think even with Cooper Rush, it would be more of a challenge, but it should be a game we should win.
It's a Dallas Cowboys, man. In the past, we played with our level.
Yeah, if it's a shootout, then we won't, because our offense built the way it is with Rush, it's not built for shootouts. Yeah. It's just not. I think he can, again, get you about 22 points, maybe 25. On a good day, but if it's anything above that, then I would count it as a loss, or say this is not a game we're going to win. But with Dak, I really want to see I want to see pass and run a little bit, even if it's more pass. And when I say more, I mean like by maybe 5 to 7 more plays that are passed. But I don't want to see again the 50 or 45 passes. Again, an NFL game offense usually averages about 70 plays. If 50 of them are pass and you're splitting time with Pollard and Zeke. And here's the other thing too, and I've been wanting to say this. I've been chomping at the bit for this all week. Zeke can still run. I'm so tired of all the Zeke haters.
Well,
Zeke
he always does. He always looks
can
good
run.
in the Eagles, though. He always looks
Zeke
good.
can run.
He'll look good on Sunday too.
Yeah.
I definitely think he will.
No, he won't get killed. Zeke can run, so you have to give him the ball. You have to give him the ball. You have to give the ball to Pollard. I like the 2-back set. I like that you can utilize him. I'm still waiting for them to use Turpin. I'm still waiting for them to use Turpin in the offense. He has shown, even in that Philly game, that he can run the ball. Give him the ball. Let him be the Debo the Debo Samuel on for this squad. He can do that. But yeah, I think that right there is the one thing that has really been getting to me is that everyone's saying, oh, it's time to get rid of Zeke. It's time to get rid of Zeke. Just give it to Pollard. Give it to Pollard. If you have that attack going, that thunder and lightning that we remember back in the day with the New York Giants. Yes, I know you said something.
No, I want to say something after you're done talking. I'm just raising my hand.
Okay. I'm done. Oh, here, I'm going to say this. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and smash the bell. I meant to say that earlier. Make sure that you support. I always want to make sure that you know when we come on because we want to hear your opinion, even if it's wrong. Big game, I'm looking at you. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to, in a big play in that Eagle, I hate going back to this Eagle game because it's Detroit week, but I'm making your point for Zeke here. When the third quarter, when CeeDee Lamb was wide open, who was a running back in? It was Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard cannot block. If Zeke Elliott's in there, he does not get hit on the quarterback, and that's probably a touchdown. And that's one thing Zeke does a lot better than Tony Pollard is pass block, and that's an advantage. But I don't think Pollard or Zeke is going to be back next year on the Dallas Cowboys.
That's an interesting one there.
That's a hot take.
Here's the thing with everyone saying get rid of Zeke and Pollard's the guy Pollard looks solid right now as the number 2. When you get rid of Zeke and it's not that thunder and lightning and it's just Pollard, you don't know what that's going to look like.
Right. He's not a 3-down back.
No, he's not.
He's not a 3-down back.
Well, he is when you count him towards the slot. If he's in as a receiver.
Well, then he's not a back. He's a slot receiver.
Well, you can bring him into motion and do
a slot back. He's a slot back if you want to say that.
Grind your gears, dog. I mean, so would it be if I don't argue with you.
Well, that's what we do. But no, he's not a 3-down back. So you have to have someone there. And Zeke is the guy. You've paid him, pay him and get the offensive line. I like Smith. Smith is going through his growing pains. I think the real question is going to be when the other Smith gets healthy, what do you do with him?
I think you move him to guard.
And so now you put Peters where?
Keep him as a depth piece, I think.
Yeah, he can't go full season, dude. He's not getting injury right now too. His chest, in all honesty, he probably shouldn't have played Sunday because his chest. He was originally supposed to be out 3 to 4 weeks, but he said no. It's the Eagles. I'm freaking playing this game. And, but we're not talking enough about Steele on the other side. Steele is having a phenomenal year.
Yes. I think that Atlanta game where he gave up like 10 million sacks
and gave that guy a bonus.
Yeah, he did. He earned that guy a bonus. He got him paid. But ever since that game and that criticism came down hard and everyone was like, yo, get rid of this kid. He has turned it around and is one of the most solid pieces on that O-line. For sure.
And the
he's one of
Cowboys
those
coaches knew
solid.
what they were doing, keeping him and getting rid of Lionel Collins, who's doing
Oh yeah, Lionel Collins. Yeah, he's straight trash.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to give up Fat Man Fournette for Pollard that big game? Hey, this is not a Buck show. Get out of here, dude.
Actually, I think Pallard's going to be a Ram next year.
I don't know if it's a Ram or he may be a Charger.
I think it's a Ram because Cam Akers after for a trade. They can't run the football to save their life over there in Los Angeles. They don't trust Henderson at all. And Sean McVay with Tony Pollard, to trust me, Sean McVay would use Tony Pollard the way Tony Pollard is supposed to be used. And here.
Possibly. But one thing I'm looking at is well, I think, we start talking about, West out there, but with Pollard, I think he can go somewhere else as long as he's not asked to be a 3-down back. Now, that's the point there, because now when you put him in a pass block situation, you already know what you're getting or not getting from him. And there's some lapses here and there. Can he run in between the tackles? I think that's still kind of questionable. He likes to bounce it outside, but if he's made to run in between the tackles, I think that might be an issue there. Add Pollard to Lenny.
I think that would be, if you were taking him there, that's what it would be. Because again, he's not your 3-down back.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we got a shout out there. Andrew, thanks for being on the show. There you go. He's made it. He's made it to the Cowboys. Cutting up for sure. But no, I'm very curious as to see, at the end of this year, I agree one of them will be gone. It probably will be Zeke. They'll probably cut him. They'll probably draft another running back. And they'll sign Pollard to not a ridiculous number, but one that will make you say, ooh, okay.
A little too much, but yeah.
Yeah. A little bit too much, but not one you're like, oh, that's dumb. So I think that's kind of where we are with that. But you're going to have to do something. I still believe, even though they signed I'm having a brain fart. Even though they signed Gallup with the knee, he can't get open. In my opinion, he has to fight for every pass, every catch. CD is kind of the same way at times, and his drops worry me. Again, he's not a 1; he's more like a upgraded 2.
Yeah, he's like a 1B, I would say.
He's a 1B. Definitely not a one of those. Thanks for the likes and the love. We appreciate it. But definitely not the guy that's going to be. He's not the man yet. And so, there's been a lot of questions here about whether he should really wear the 88, and and I think he should have worn whatever number he wanted to wear. If it was 18 or 2 or 78, I don't care. But let the man pick what he wants. Trey got sick of me in my butt. Yeah, we all do. Big game. We all do. What we saying, Kyle? Eagles will face off in 100. It'll be a game they are supposed to win. You know what? Yeah, I think the next game that you see with the Cowboys and Eagles will be a different game.
I think so. 100%.
Dak will, if Dak is healthy, it definitely be a different game because he's now had more time in the driver's seat. That's at the very end of the season. And the Eagles may say, you know what, we're going to rest our squad, for the playoffs, which, there's always debate on that as well. Should you rest your squad going in? They may get some rust, or, do you let them play, but you risk injury? With preseason, that whole thing. So, I think there's that part. But yeah, there has to be something has to happen in that receiver room that it gets better. I think CD did so well because of Amari Cooper that was there, right? He was able to draw that double team so CD could get that single, and even if they did double him, it was a double high with the safety over. He can run right around that. So I think there's that part there. Now that, hey, guess what? We're going to dedicate 2 people to you the whole time. Yeah. And we're going to game plan around you and just you, because we're not worried about Noah Brown and we're not worried about Michael Gallup, because we're not. They're not elite receivers. So I think that's what scares me about that part. We have to go out and get somebody. Was the Eagles going to crush y'all? Yeah, I don't think so. Big game. Divisional games are always tough.
Yep.
So no matter the records, divisional games are always tough, right? Even Detroit, and in past years, it's been tough. They're like, it's a down year, but they play every divisional opponent tough. And there have been years where it's like, really, they won? It's interesting.
Yeah.
You see them twice a year every year. You see them twice a year every year.
It's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. Doesn't matter if it's a non-divisional opponent and you see them in the regular season and the playoffs, or it's a divisional opponent you see twice in a year.
Right.
It's very difficult to beat the same team twice.
Yeah, it is. Charlie Batch, really? We need to call Charlie Batch?
I mean, there's a ton of those. You go Joey Harrington, you go Dante Culpepper, John Kitna. There's just a long, long list if you want to make that joke.
And I like Kitna. I wish he was still here. I wish he was still our QB coach. I thought he was an awesome QB coach. I don't know what he's doing now, but he was definitely an awesome, and hey, Dieter, big game. I'm going to tell y'all this, man. You will get banned from the show. I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out. I'll ban you. No, you guys are all right with me. And that's fine, because again, you don't have to be a Cowboys fan to come on Cowboys Cutting Up. We welcome you all. Just understand, we'll tell you when you're wrong. Like now, you're wrong. You're wrong. And that's what it is. So what's the time? Okay. This is the time that Trey hates.
Dang, I should have waited. Dang
it. He absolutely hates this part. This is where we get to choose the legend of the star. So, Alex, this is the way it works, man. Choose one of those fan favorite players. Maybe they're not in the Hall of Fame, but somebody that you just loved watching growing up, or that you heard their name and said, hey, that guy, that's a great Lion, Detroit Lion that I always watch. We'll let you kind of think about that. Trey, do you have yours? Trey always says, no, I don't have mine.
I'm going with Harper.
Mine. Alvin Harper. I feel like you've used him before.
I have not used Harper.
Huh. Okay. Alvin Harper. That's all right.
You used mine last week that I used 2 weeks ago, but hey, it's all good.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You can't prove it.
I can't.
Can't prove it. You know who I'm going to pick? T.O.
See, I think that was too obvious. Like, I try to think.
I know, but still, T.O. Okay. I like T.O. as a Cowboy.
That's my quarterback.
Look, if for nothing else, the sound bites. But look, T.O. did great. He did great stuff here.
He did.
While he was here. So, he's my legend of the star this week. Shout out to those two, Alvin Harper, Terrell Owens, both receivers. There you go. Big receivers, too. Alex, you have a line that you just love to watch, or someone that was definitely one of your guys?
To me, I'm going one that I go back and watch old tape of because he played before I was born, and that's Chris Spielman, the linebacker.
Hey,
all-time leading tackler, just phenomenal defensive player. I love watching tape on Spielman.
Yeah. He, I think of him though as in front office work, and
a
little different. A little different.
Yeah,
a little different. But yeah, no, he definitely was someone that even as a Cowboys fan, you can appreciate what he was. And Detroit has had some really good defensive players and even offensive players, but definitely defensive players come through. Monster Spielman. Yeah, Spielman.
Yeah,
he definitely was a monster. But that Detroit, that team with Fonts and when Barry was coming through there, man, it was just an amazing, amazing defense, an amazing team. Just didn't really have the quarterback to kind of, I think, put you over the hump there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe it was just relying on Barry too much. I mean, it could have been that too. Excuse me. But anyway, it is what it is. Hey, Alex, again, tell us what you're doing, what you got going.
All right.
What you're on. Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. This was an absolute blast. So you can catch me tomorrow night and every other Thursday at about 10 Eastern. That's the one where the time always kind of fluctuates. We're just kind of on the fly. Whenever it's like, oh crap, let's get rolling, we go. Typically around 10 Eastern. The NFL edition on Bucs Report. And then every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern is on Let's Talk Football. We do Let's Talk College Football. It's just kind of like a pregame for the like college game day. Look forward to what's that?
You need to bring me on that show.
I would love to. Absolutely.
I love college football, and I wish I could talk about your mission. Whatever. Go ahead.
Wow. Trey.
So, 10 a.m. Eastern on Let's Talk Football. It's Let's Talk College Football. Usually goes about an hour. Just talk games going into it. Usually we'll do like a weekly update on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Friday, just kind of whenever we can fit it in. Top 25, Heisman, all sorts of stuff, everything college football related. Cool. So
I do got a question for you. You being a Michigan fan.
Okay.
It's nothing hatred towards Michigan. Are you tired of these freaking 12 o'clock kickoffs for y'all? Or
see,
like every week, big game on Fox. It's the Michigan versus somebody. I'm like, come on.
See, for me, I'm actually out west. So for me, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So I can get up, have breakfast, watch the game, and then I can go about my day. So I'm fine with it personally. But yeah, if I was out there where it's at noon, then yeah, I think it would be a little annoying, to be honest with you.
It seems like every week our big Michigan versus Iowa. Really? Michigan versus Rutgers. I'm like, seriously, come on. Michigan?
Yeah, didn't. The Maryland one I understood because I've been high on Maryland all year. The Iowa one didn't need to happen. No. Penn State I understood. And they got the rights to that one before the season even started. Yeah. And then Indiana. That one didn't need to be the big kickoff. That
didn't even need to be televised.
Yeah.
That shouldn't even been televised.
Yeah. To me, the only ones that are those like big time games, like I threw Maryland in there this year, and then Penn State. I wouldn't even throw Michigan State in there this year because they're that bad. And obviously Ohio State.
Yeah. But you got to put that in because that's a rivalry game, and so anytime it's a rivalry,
that's always an 11:00 kickoff.
There.
That one we're going under the lights next week. The Michigan State game, we're going under the lights.
Who do y'all have?
Michigan State next week.
Oh, that's right.
We're on the bye this week, and then MSU next week.
Yeah, only two, Ohio State and Michigan. That's about it.
At this point, yeah.
Now, and I think that's
like Penn State's a good team, but we saw last week they're not at the level of these other two.
No, they're overrated.
And then, they're good, not great. That's what I say about them. Same with Maryland. Iowa's way down there this year. I think like Illinois is going to win the Big Ten West this year.
Nebraska has a chance.
Stop it. And on that
note, no.
Hey, cocaine, I don't know, Andrew, about that, but And on that note, hey, thank you for joining us because now we're getting into foolish hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Texas. Hey, they survived Iowa State.
Hey, if Texas wins this week, start paying attention to college playoff. I'm telling you.
I've been saying this all year with viewers. I think they're a borderline top 10 team in the nation. I think they're that good.
With viewers, I think they're top 5 right now and undefeated.
Yeah, I think you can definitely make that argument. Yeah,
they would have beat Alabama because he threw.
They should have beat Alabama. Yeah,
did it?
And then they would have lost at Tech. They would not have lost at Tech.
But they
would have put up way more than 49 on Oklahoma because they would have been on a roll.
But you're a 2-loss team, even if it's a 1-loss team in the SEC, you know they get in. Point blank, period. Especially if you're Georgia and Alabama.
Here's the thing, though. If it is Alabama, then because as the committee votes, you're supposed to look at the losses, but how they lost.
That's
so that
crap.
loss against Alabama is going to come up. That's going to be a long discussion.
Yeah, it's crap, and you know it. Hey, appreciate y'all coming through. Again, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can always catch us there. Check out Alex. Great guy. Great to meet you. Great to have you on. We'll have you on again. Let us know when you need somebody to fill in for some college football, man. We'll definitely talk that on a Saturday morning. Trey Collis, the voice of the Antlers, and of course you can catch him on Hill Country Sports. Right now, I caught him on Saturday, man. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff y'all got going on.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's kind of low end radio show, but you know what?
Hey, man. Low end eventually gets to the high end, right?
Absolutely.
So appreciate y'all. Have a good one, and peace to